The Protectorate have dug themselves in real good. If we approach head-on, we're signing our own death certificates. We need another plan. We could, considering Spyreton's ours. Just ought to find a way to control the lift from here if we wish to call him down. Ain't opposed to that, but I reckon our better bet is bringing in some backup. There's a reason folk go on and on about strength in numbers.
All right, it's a plan.
Feeling distracted? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Prudence dictates we repel invasive elements.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to
Assessor
the most
Ostergaard making a mess of things again?
all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
I, too, would never question the paradigm. Perhaps a brief visit to mental refreshment would put him on track.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
Enemy in vicinity.
The console provides, the system abides.
I feel terrible. Everybody who ate the latest Crabble rations fell ill. Rumor is somebody died. Never eating Crabble again.
Quiet now.
The console provide. The system abides. Prudence dictates we rout all disruptive influences.
Appropriate seal for their
Replicator in charge. I have a fix on their weaknesses. You try to limit further damage. That can stand. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Back in business.
Figures.
But that component couldn't have gone far. I hope. Well,
That wire ain't at all inconspicuous.
I say we follow it.
Stranded on a hostile planet, day 35. Brought to you by the frigid cold and... Oh. Not sure how you managed to approach unnoticed. Could be I'd grown so it... Were you left behind by your unit too? Are you in... Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, ascertained how to pry open a rations tin unaided. Did you know there's a little opener key attached? It's all going in my manuscript. So, I've recently evolved into a rugged, self-sufficient individual, fully accustomed to life in these caves, living raw... Why, just the other day, I reinvented fire. I found a little doohickey I've named a light starter. You simply... Yes, indeed. I know this cave and several of the adjoining hallways, like... Well, someone who's... Why, you'd probably need the necessary innards to its control board, which I happen to have in my possession. Having rather... I might be convinced to part with them. For a small favor, I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. Their habitat stretches from inside the archive's entrance to all over the... Here's a fetching headpiece that ought to make it easier. Put it on, and they'll see you as one of their own. Have at it now. I'll learn you all about self-sufficiency and survival.
Reserve set progress. Sustain the system. Gray gone astray? You mental...
Did you get the sprats I need? So I might, bait the equal parts canny and fierce ursapod into a... Finally, give it here.
Suppose that beats auto-cannibalism.
Sorry you had to see that. The parcels of victuals my neighbor sends over the tube have fallen off recently. Barely eaten for days. Sent me over a bunch of recordings, along with victuals. Offered some sound, if harshly put, advice. Looked out for me like no one's ever. Never even seen him face to face. I do so. Anyhow, here. I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Drop back in again sometime.
Hoyt. Name's Hoyt, right? I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals, coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant a field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
Never hurts to give the enemy more targets to shoot at, I suppose. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Suffered extensive damage, Commander.
End this fight on my feet!
Thank you, dear. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Begin business.
Assessing.
Dreamt of coming here.
Caduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declined.
Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. No need to report me for mental refreshment. Wait, you're one of those from outside, aren't you? Good show, pretending to be an... I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the, I still have trouble saying that. It is part ceremonial item, part computronical key. Grants special access across the Archive by If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened. I would pass the Caduceus on to you, in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. By all rights, I should fight against you to my dying breath for... No. Capitulation, I can stomach. Collusion, I cannot. I refuse to assist you more. I would know. No, accept my offer or kill me. But I will... Here, you are now operator of the archive.
Caduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Harmonizing replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am EUANIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. That, I fear, would be a misleading choice of words, as it implies a form of sentience or cognition. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above, to attract the most consumers.
Well...
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperative, tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocol.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing...
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shift.
What approximates its mind has become...
One would assume that calamity enough.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates. No, not when I can guide others out of worry and doubt, to sublimate themselves to the needs of the community.
Not when there are bits to be made. We're talking monetary units left on the table here.
The theorized method to purge myself of my erring others is slightly more involved. To avoid the requisite downtime, I endeavor to work around them. For now.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan. A charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies. Once this...
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of... Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique...
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly... What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago. Though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude, to perform similar calculations of larger scale at
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by...
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses 2 key external systems. Cold storage. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for... Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the archive and our... Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern. When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, I can process the rift data without its repair. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of Crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic. Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crystals?
Our potential allies in the Order would not like that.
It is an archival area dedicated to save the sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve. It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude. Some categorical overspill inevitably occur. Attempts by non-order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to inverting target. Any protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the archive are locked. Return later to discuss the remaining...
Have a profitable day! Enough fruitless lollygagging. Come back here after progress.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Prudence dictates we reject individualism in all its many forms.
Preserve said progress. Sustain
Yeah. Hold fire! This one looks friendly.
Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? What? Oh, you must be another case of hypothermia. It's because the archive controls the surface lifts, which are the only way in or out. Now, for more than a month, we've all been trapped in these caves, Order and Antes alike, scrounging for food, huddling for warmth, and desperately trying to stay alive. You're what? How? The odds of you successfully doing what our whole army could not is... Regardless, if we are to maximize your odds of success, you should at least let us share our intelligence with you. You'll want to speak with Provost Finch inside that building to the northeast. Though I would be absolutely ecstatic to offer you any information I have that would increase the odds of your success. The paths down here all connect. Nevertheless, venture south and you'll reach the thermal transfer station. In the loop between the two lay the lift controls. Though be warned, they are incredibly... What else can I do to help you help us? Absolutely. There are several factors that will greatly reduce your... Also, near the thermal transfers and directly south is a band of what had been normal folks, now turned bloodthirsty and feral due to an overindulgence in Auntie's Choice Adrena time. No. A significant number of Auntie's troopers are trapped down here with us. Though despite odds, if I'm being honest, I'd certainly sleep better if I wasn't unceasingly concerned about their perpetual capitalistic calculating. May the universal... Watch yourself!
Rough setup.
Ain't it? But at least...
My scouts reported significant activity in the... which was obviously you. A notion that fills me with questions. So many... I don't suppose you would care to enlighten me as a beginning to our discourse? You took the archive? On your own? That's quite a... My name is Provost Finch, and I've been appointed as leader of this motley band. Correct. With no escape or access to resupply, we would pool our food, warmth, and resources while here, and could go back to killing each other. Hardly. It took days and days of getting more and more close-fisted with our resources before we decided to set terms. Over a month, and we made peace about a week later. I held off a bit, needing to really take stock of the direness before making my offer. Of course, all we have to do is fight our way into the breaker room and turn the lift and door access back on. Now, we wait, having calculated that the odds of rescue being greater than our chances of successfully assaulting those defending automechs with ever-diminishing resources. Thank you, stranger. Perhaps it's...
Well, look at that. A fresh... I'm sure one...
Of course nobody's gonna see it. There's not the point. I just don't feel like a human being if my back's not shaved clean.
So, you want me to take off your top and lather you...
analysis. Combatant scanned.
Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an anti-Strokes field manager is present and unaccounted for.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Protectorate engineers. Reckon they didn't repair much. Needs repair. Any tools lying around?
Proceeding to attack. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Mobilizing. Standing by to stupefy. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Proceeding to attack. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Investigating hostile intentions. Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Combatant scan.
Hunting them down. Torpification in progress. Up in that claw. This thing's got a mean streak.
vulnerabilities identified.
Looks like it needs a fuse. A specific kind.
I'll handle this. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Hostilities are afoot. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Fortificator at ready status. Mitigating the threat, taking the fight out of them. Ratcheting up my aggression.
my new neighbor is an odd fella. Fancies himself a man of the wilderness. He took the control board for the Spiraton lift, so I know he's tech-savvy. Just not survival-savvy. Hopefully he appreciates the care packages I sent through the vacuum tube. He'd be long gone without them.
Toolkit. Should come in handy with repairs.
Manual told me everything I needed to know about regulation of the Archive's temperature flow. Now my Crabbles are adapting to the warm waters. It's such a pity that the Archive and the Crabbles cannot coexist in the same ecosystem. But the Crabbles need me. That babbling terminal can look after itself.
Activate the system.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not melt down. Please proceed to cold storage to re-enable punch card retrieval.
scopes for combatant analysis.
Not quite charged yet. Mess with me, you get the claw.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Stun weapon ready, Commander. Combatant scanned.
A random occurrence.
Investigating hostile intelligence.
Have a fix on their...
Investigating disturbance. Threat detected. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Vitals are in the red, Commander. I after my partner. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Ratcheting up my aggression. Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Pick me up. I do it for you.
Thank you, dear.
Back in business. Reviving me is strategically optimal.
Thank you, dear.
I'll handle this. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Combatant scan. Go for torpification. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Mobile adversary vulnerabilities identified. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
What in the name of Auntie's anti-hallucinatory ammonia drops? Who are you? What are you doing here? Starving? Or freezing? Or maybe both? Honestly, it depends on the moment. But we've been trapped down here. You? Just you? You realize we lost a lot of lives trying to take the Ascension Conduit Control Building. Well, I wouldn't wager much on your success, but I certainly won't stop you from trying. But good luck. Yes, what do you want? Normally I'd charge you. Starving? Or you? Just you? Huh. Point taken. Well...
Hostilities are afoot. Resorting to violence. Consider self-preservation a priority.
Ascendant. Oh, Seer. Why did Providence show us no indication of how this doomed equation would balance? We tried our modest best to make it to the console and reset the lifts and doors. But it went as well as asking a feeble-minded simpleton to solve for Webb's theory of everything. We knew the Protectorate would have automechs guarding it. We knew they would have them stationed in grotesque numbers. But our scouts failed us by at least a factor of 10. We're attempting to retreat and rally reinforcements, but I fear that's little more than wishful thinking. There's only 3 of us left, and it seems likely that...
I'll say this for my colleagues in the Order. We certainly thought big with the Archive.
It is fitting that we move underground to burn out every single root the Protectorate has left on Cloister.
Is the pain of this wound making me hallucinate? Or are you the unforeseen interloper? Nobody is sure where you came from, though everyone agrees you were not down here when the doors sealed, and watching you move through these caves is quite the sight to behold. You what? On your own? Why aren't you just an absolute marvel? What is your goal now? We could greatly use your help if you are willing. You are? That's magnificent. That, I fear, is a seriously dangerous proposition. It froze every person fighting inside the complex, Order and the Protectorate both, to solid ice. They sacrificed every soldier they had to keep... Wouldn't that have... No. It never even... I was so focused. I suppose it speaks to how rarely I'd crunch these sorts of equations under stress. As my compatriots died beside me. And now my inexperience has trapped us here. I wish you a swift victory.
Another new face, Glorious. It is so cold. I trust you'll pardon my brusque manner. You've something of import to discuss, I gather? Well, it is shockingly hard to argue with that logic. Nevertheless, supplies are scarce, and if you could offer bits for my services, it would be of great benefit for my bar. That said...
To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires a series of manual overrides. The first will enable identification of the storage brick housing the information.
If you encounter opposition, remember, our needs come first.
I believe the technical term for this is glaciated.
Leave me in peace.
Not the worst way.
Say that was interesting enough to interrupt my work. Yeah.
Data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extraction controls.
Remove
There,
this
perform a
gadabout
manual
immediately.
override on extraction.
Combatant scan.
Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted.
I would not refuse medical support.
Electrical chaos.
Thank you, dear. Check your scope for combatants.
All charged up. Yeah.
What in the Sovereign's name? How did you get in here? Don't worry. I won't cause trouble. Just please don't hurt me.
Sovereign, forgive me. All I saw was an endless sea of snarling Order traders pouring into the facility, and in that moment, my faculties desperately scrabbled to save ourselves. In my terror, I recalled the facility's safety briefing and the dire warnings of the fire suppression system. Suddenly, my body rushed into action without the benefit of my wits. And with no thought for my fellows, I triggered the system, horrifically transmuting every person on the outside of a pressure door into a grotesque sculpture of solid hoarfrost. And though the paradigm freely sacrifices subjects in defense of the Protectorate, would be a despicable lie to say my choice was driven by anything but abject cowardice, which now makes my duty clear. I must seek out Sentinel, confess my transgressions, and accept retribution, and I'll do so. Soon. I just need my spine to re-stiffen a bit first.
Target analyzed. Let down fire. Mobilizing. Combatant scan. Proceeding to attack. Adversary vulnerabilities
Would be a damn sight easier if we could just blast our way through this place.
Data brick extraction initiated. Proceed to the rail operations platform to reposition brick for export. Note, Protectorate troops have become alerted.
Apartments and sponges. Go through them if necessary.
I have a fix on their weaknesses. Trouble ahead. Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Standing by. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Yeah.
Hostilities are afoot. Abandon the ball. A fix on their weaknesses.
There's scrutiny.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Data brick now in position for export to the archive. Initialize the final transport command at the data gateway station nearby.
You are one step closer to flooding Arcadia with untold business opportunities.
Convenient. Let's head over.
The first few days of laboring around our frozen fellows were difficult. It was, if I may cheekily say, cold, bleak, and biting. Yet,
Another insufferable disruption.
Acclimating to the situation and resumed what had been my normal banter with the now always urgent to decisions lost due to that was the incident. Refreshingly, I can now finish my anecdotes without interruption. Frankly, I think someone makes her a better companion now than the analyst thought. And I relish the thought of continuing our flourishing relationship.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Mobilizing.
There, the storage brick is on its way.
You've returned. Please tell me you bring promising news. That is absolutely amazing news. Then we are going to re-establish contact with the... May the plan guide you through this underground...
Huh. These folk built a giant computer taking up a whole moon, but without destroying the climate or its fauna. Reckon Auntie could learn a thing or two.
Investigating hostile intentions. Do try to limit further damage, Commander. Dead. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
No impact or puncture wounds that I can see. Reckon these folks froze to death.
Fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment.
For all the purported immaculacy.
Honing in on possible...
Our illustrious ally. We do predict your handover. Junior Seer Amarillo awaits you inside.
Felicitations on securing the Archive. Moving forward, I'll function as your liaison for all matters pertaining to the Archive, until such time. In the meantime, restoring the Archive to full functionality remains a top priority. Wonderful! Were we to operate the Archive without proper heat distribution, punch processing and reactor control have hidden caches with useful items as well. Although, you probably lack clearance to know that. Forget I said anything.
Cold storage is operational. I am unsealing access to the Archive's upper levels.
Punch processing may require...
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway.
Your call, Commander. Either we head to the reactor or punch card process.
What are they doing down there?
Are they after us next? Need me to protect. The lifts were locked down. You need special permissions to operate them. Exit the blast!
Enemy moving.
Reactor fire suppression system online. Reactor turret defenses online. Reactor reinforcement doors sealed. Reactor turret defenses offline. The archive reactor requires manual maintenance. The Protectorate bunker mech is a formidable obstacle, made with the very best technology.
A creative workaround might be of considerable work. Namely, via the reactor's backup security systems.
Appears we can adjust turrets.
Hostilities are afoot. Check your scope for combatant analysis. Combat have a fix on their weaknesses. I have to let parts are fried.
Increasing watchfulness. Prudence dictates it is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
Fortification in progress. Mitigating the threat.
Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted.
Combatant scan. Vitals are in the red, Commander. Improve your odds.
Menacing my firearm. Let's go.
This thing's got a mess with me. You get the claw.
position.
It's only then that we prevail. Thank you, dear. Back in business.
Mobility interrupted. I cease functioning selflessly, without complaint.
I thought the order wasn't capable of much more than sitting at a desk and calculating all day. To build all this really cramps the mind to think of what it must have took.
The Archive reactor has been returned to operational status. All that remains is to re-enable punch processing and disseminate the rift processing instructions. Emergency first aid cache unsealed. Reactor reinforcement doors unsealed. Emergency ammunitions cache unsealed.
stupefied. Target analyzed.
Replenishing my...
There be none. Locking them down.
Back in business.
Proceeding to attack. Vitals critical. Don't...
It's supposed to do that.
Resorting to violence.
Card processing re-enabled. Now you must disperse the written processing instructions.
Looks like we could ride this down if we get it moving. Qualification.
Any ways to die? Ratcheting up my aggression.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
I sense the Rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. Requisite tasks complete. Central interface to initiate processing. What an interesting predicament you sent to this. Welcome back, Cynthia. Now that you've returned, we can
bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all...
Make the paradigm real, and workarounds failing. Erroring others, supplanting commands. Purge required.
Look, we need to resolve this, or we'll never get that Rift data processed. 2 of those priority sets need to go.
You must choose before I, ENIAC, become caught in an endless arrowing loop of malfunction. A long but inevitable descent, my priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician. To help not to hinder outsiders from the...
To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
Priority control active.
I think that's our cue to go inside.
Unplanned variables increasing. Major correction imminent.
Overt influence.
Mindless indulgence. Thoroughgoing impermeability to ongoing vicissitudes. Benevolent. Stop and consider. What would your name... Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Vandalism. Sabotage. Wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately, or run the risk of unspeakable ire. All I ever wanted was the best for us, and the worst for everybody else. Is that... Is that really so bad? Hold on now. Remember, I am a full-service business collaborator. I do it all. Marketing and PR strategy, advert copy, and jingles. Nanofish, it's the Nano Witch. You'll consume fatty acids and potassium. A unique taste sensation makes you say ew, yum. Stop now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance fees. Think of all the bits we could make together. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say, partners?
Did it work, or didn't it?
To conclude realignment of emphasized categorical imperatives, power down, then power on again. Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly feigned simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Awaiting your input.
Time to process the Rift data. Finally.
Shall I proceed? Facetious employment of sarcasm detected. Electing to ignore. Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just a start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? Seeing as how my priorities are largely modeled after a founder of the Order, I expect returning to their supervision should resume without undue vexation or worry. Rift data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental rift device with this information has a high chance of success. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Well, we could keep exploring Cloister, see if we find anything useful. Or we could head back to the ship and see where this data leads us.
Yeah, suppose you're right.
Congratulations are in order. Unless I miss, on behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring... You agreed to turn over the relic after processing your data. Are you indicating you now intend to deviate from this compact? Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an...
Ah, you are my new operator then. It is my simulated delight. I contend that solving of the universal equation, then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can be...
Yes.
Yeah.
Go forth as with the and may the plan guide you.
This unit requests your presence in the cockpit to discuss a priority matter.
That scum! That miserable... I shall not rest until the Consul pays for his treachery, and Arcadia's rightful ruler is reinstated. Were they still the Protectorate, such would be a traitorous aim to entertain. But I fear how my fellow subjects will respond to this news. I believe that most will remain loyal to the Sovereign. But I will need to deal with those who strayed. I shall attend to that matter. I sincerely doubt this is the end of my thoughts related to the matter.
A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and Horizon Point Station has reappeared. Providing intellectual validation to this unit's queue. Based on energy readings, Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator. Thus, present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat. A survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is in the meantime, Commander, it is worth considering your lack of formal failure to make proper preparations raises the likelihood of death and serious injury occurring. Acknowledge. Updating ship reminder. Earth Directorate. Furthermore, any opinions expressed in favor of product
Fizzo's citrus-related beverage. Try to taste the lemon. Anti-Cleo and Powell's Bubblegum Slim. Now with chewable filter tip. Anti-Cleo and Powell's Candy Tobacco. Available in 2 other flavors.
It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The energy readings from the modulator can be hypothesizing. Given Protectorate...
But to what end is he working here? The Consul I once knew would never act so recklessly.
This unit will choose a more uplifting topic. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable.
I've trained for impossible odds, Commander. I can face anything you throw me at. Just...
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those. There is minimal room for...
Just waiting on your orders, Commander. Whenever you're ready.
No time for a chit-chat.
Error.
We have a
Unable
rift
to
to
process
attend to.
conversation request at this time.
You know how some creatures can smell danger? I think I might have absorbed some of that. Watch those troops carefully. That must be the Providence. Were it in other hands, we can imagine the real good doing.
It falls to you. The eyes, the ears, the brains of Horizon Point Station to determine who introduced the flaw into our perfect skip drive manufacturing process. We must all fulfill our duty to protect it.
Is this what happened? When someone clings too tightly to the past?
This together. Skip Drive is our legacy. It is our mandate. It is who we are. It falls to you. The eyes, the ears, the brains of Horizon Point Station.
What a shame. I reckon it's better he didn't live again to see this.
Station to determine who introduced the flaw.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
N-ray. Exposure.
have a fix on their weaknesses. Plan isn't always subtle with its warnings, is it now? Without the rift modulator, I doubt we'd make much progress here.
You still possess that shield modulator, yes?
Wasn't sure that'd work.
Proceeding to attack.
Those troops are a sorry sight, Commander. Ought to put them out of their misery.
Adversary vulnerability identified. analysis.
N-ray. Exposure.
Combatant scan. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Interrupted. Mobility.
I'll handle this.
N-ray. Exposure. Undermated. Functioning.
Commander, one of them speaking apparently. Not sure if that's good or bad.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Whoa, hey. We ain't gonna cause you any harm. Right, Commander?
Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Oh, what's happening to me? My skin. It's burning. I feel dizzy. Not right at all. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Oh, I had to kill them. How do I know you won't turn against me as well? How do I know you won't come at me with murder in your eyes? No. You're as I remember. And we are here conversating. Neither of them could manage that, but I'm having trouble making sense of things. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
So, your whole crew was still alive when the station got swallowed up by the rift. Elsewise, they would have been brought back as corpses. Law.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Law, I knew something was the matter. Tell me. Tell me everything. So she never intended for any of us to survive. Figures. So what is it that left me like this? Not right. Stop speaking in circles. What are they doing?
It's called reconstitution. The Protectorate are taking things out of the rift and putting them back together. Like a puzzle. But the pieces don't quite fit.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? I assume you got a plan to help me? You do, don't you? No, this must be some kind of sick protectorate trick, trying to break me, cut me from reality. I won't let you. No. It won't end like this.
Hostile ahead. What's the place, man?
Ready. And frankly, pissed off. That couldn't have been easy, dear heart, but it was for the best. Your former colleague was in agony. You only finished what the rift started.
Well, the ship doesn't look at all intimidating up close. Though, I got my questions about that rover they're sending down.
Vulnerabilities identified. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Those reconstituted mechs still function. How inconvenient.
Well, despite the low probability of such an occurrence, a rift and a plasma hazard are directly blocking our path to the Sovereign's ship. Suggest we scour the area. The scientists here were unlikely near the caliber of the Order, but perhaps they left something useful.
This is Scientist Bernard.
all rather intriguing. Congratulations! We have successfully cracked a difficult equation. Now we only need return to the terminal and input. Splendid. Rift secure.
Was correct all along. The results from the experiment were full. Capture the readings. We'll let the slaves settle in. Data retrieval complete.
Proceeding to it. Have a fix on their weaknesses. Torpificator at ready status.
Necessary vulnerabilities identified.
No welcoming committee?
Welcome aboard.
Should be simple unsealing the hangar, at least.
doing everything around here.
Taking the fight out of them. Mitigating the threat.
Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted. Mobility interrupted. Mobility
Back and scan. Target analyzed. Shut down fire. Stun weapon ready, Commander.
I suspected those sounds of open conflict owed to you. Come, let us coordinate. In spite of your success thus far, the hard work is not yet finished. Both the modulator and the conductor of this ill-conceived plot are on the decks above us. However, a precision strike team meets the requirements of this mission. Bringing any more troops would each deck has its own restrictions, and the lift can only be operated with access credentials. An alternate route through the engine room is viable, but there is a high likelihood that you will... Much on this ship, it seems, is not for the eyes of the rank and file. Indeed, look for me.
If you must replace lost, please make a request. Display.
kind of slack.
Suffered extensive damage, Commander. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
this unit bolster or rigid. Request receipt.
Yeah, you know, I'd really rather not deal with any of that. Can we try the elevator? Good. We made it. I was expecting a wall of swinging axes and maybe a punch to the face to top it all off.
We either find access credentials or stick to the shadows then. Both options are certainly more efficient than raucous hostilities.
If security's this tight, the modulator must be close by. I'm mighty curious about what these scientists were up to.
Be wary. I've heard... I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set up... I was under the impression we'd purged all the sprats from this ship. Chief Scientist Montserrat is in the rift chamber. I'm sure he'd be pleased. Security's become awfully stringent of late. It wouldn't do to be caught unawares. That's why I carry 2 cards, just in case. I've been trying to convince everyone I'm perfectly fine.
Return to your work, my fellow subject.
Trooper deserves a proper burial, not this. Damnable bastards. Now we have solid proof that this is all mucked up. Not that I expect the console to deliver the same thoughtful analysis.
Return to your work, my fellow subject.
Reckon it was foolish to think we could stuff the modulator into a satchel. Ought to see what we can learn about it in the meantime.
I just received word that you were here to what exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab, and hopefully the rest of this system, from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait.
I apologize. Suppose I can trust you with this information then.
Matriarch, no, our situation is far more dire than it may seem. There is no proof that Rift data can be stabilized or which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good.
It's clear you aren't bound by the same rules as the rest of us somehow.
If he won't hear Mia, here, use this keycard on the module over there. It'll allow you to download my report. I hope you're able to sway him. Because if you don't, we're all dead. Deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Esteemed Council, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of, unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for. From the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space, untouched by humanity, has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to
Well, we got the schematics. This report got me asking questions. If they found rifts in deep space, where humanity supposedly ain't been, how did they form? It don't add up.
Best table that topic for now. We can't do anything with the Rift modulator yet. Not until we deal with the console. So, shall we?
Your punctuality is as commendable as ever. How did you fare in securing the Rift modulator? Yet one more hindrance to overcome in this endeavor. Did you find anything else of note? That was not necessary. When one learns information that rattles their understanding of the we know that rifts are only caused by skip drives. So if they are appearing in it proves definitively that life did not originate on Earth, and may, in fact, exist elsewhere in other forms. No, I would not expect someone of your middling This is a discussion for later, with laureates in attendance. I have run the numbers, and should you wish to negotiate with the Consul, you must be strategic. He will not react well to a direct attack on his character or methods early on. I am never more grateful for having evolved past emotion than when I speak with you. The situation is more likely to devolve into violence than not, but I am willing to give this solution a chance. If only to
Ain't opposed to speaking with the man, but I'll be damn near floored if it doesn't.
You should take this time to prepare. Replenish your supplies. Explore your environment for any advantages. Consider what options you may have in the event negotiations fail. And if there is anything more you need to say to me or your companions, I encourage you to divest yourself of these diversionary thoughts while you still can.
Seems like our mission's almost... I appreciate you using my unique talents for such a worthy cause. I still feel like a stranger here among the rest of you, but still more left to kill. I do doubt we're talking our way out from here. May all our...
Hope the Consul's ready for the grand finale. His, not ours. I'll admit, I found you to be a bit unknowable a lot of the time we traveled together. But now that we got each other's backs, if that ain't a good partner, what is? Well, it's nice to dream big. Ought to get back to our preparations.
The distinguished presiding bishop herself has deigned to join us. What a charming surprise. I might have known you'd enlist the nearest rabble in reach to crusade against me. Loyalty has eluded you for years.
Greater numbers, greater odds. It was necessary to combat the irrationality of your foolish endeavor. By failing to show reason, you have lost your edict to rule. Now, stand down.
What's the matter with you? Have your wits been dulled? And I'll start by ridding it of trespassers like you. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good... Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall...
Greater Tranquility Station was...
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Anti's choice in the Order once and for all, but... I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. It's only a crime in your estimation. When one clinches a decisive victory, using the very rift modulator on this ship, we will destroy Arcadia and edit the information stored within the resulting rift, all to reshape our... Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy. When the Matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Rifts contain the data of everything they have engulfed, and all supposedly serendipitous events have led to this moment. In the Matriarch's younger years, she found a crashed ship deep in the Earth. Within it, the very first skip drive. She dissected this tech, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse. And, well, but it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that it is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future, one free of doubt and greed.
I've found when most people haven't a leg to stand on, they fall back into performative insouciance in an attempt to redirect. Listen closely. This is the work of the group. Since you took your time scurrying about my ship, presumably rifling through our thing, that alone should tell you that we don't make our own circumstances. Without this discovery, we may never have realized the power we now possess with the rifts. Yes, the great architect, and yet what is meant to be, will be. Now, as fascinating as your pseudo-intellectual musings have been to witness, it's your time that's running out. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner seeing it carried out. So you say.
Madness is rarely apparent to one in its throes.
I am the chosen shepherd of Arcadia and will not be spoken to. You must know that you have little chance of swaying me. I will not be distracted from taking what is owed to us. And what is your definition of wrong? Have you anything substantial to back such a claim? I see. Well, the man was always a cynic. I find that attitude. The Protectorate was clearly meant to harness this power. And now, you came here claiming so boldly that I would fail, but you have yet to provide. How do you... I didn't ruin him. He did what he had to out of love for our... And now, I am the sole defender of this land. His sacrifice... This is not the same. I am excising sickness from the whole. And our rift modulator possesses more power than anything you can imagine. Your data could be wrong. You may...
Investigating...
Combatant stand.
On their weaknesses. You try to limit further damage, Commander.
Not quite charged yet.
They've been known. Taking the fight out of them. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Back in business.
Vulnerabilities identified.
This thing's got a mean streak. My claw's always crabby.
Fortificator is charged. Recharge, locking them down. Target analyzer. Lay down fire. On their weaknesses.
If the readouts are to be believed, the rift is on the verge of destabilizing completely. But
That was a rather substantial hole in my predictions. These rifts have presented an excessive supply of incalculable variables.
Though it may be troubling to you, this conclusion holds no uncertainty. Someone present must do this. This is not possible. There is no set destination we can command the ship to fly to. The flying and the activation of the modulator must be done manually. I will take the schematics back with me, and, using the processed rift data, of course, the Order will begin production of more modulators that can be operated at a safe distance. This is not the optimal course of action we discussed. There are too many errors in your logic to enumerate on them now. But to summarize, you are wrong. Alas, that your ignorance should cost our lives.
In the end, the commander chose not to choose. Thus, the rift destroyed the colony, killing everyone in Arcadia. Followed shortly by everyone everywhere, as rift destabilizations rippled across the galaxy. In conclusion, the end.
Honestly, Ruth Bassar could use my help too. She's all brains, but no branding.